First thing the kids learned was mom and dad couldn't protect them. They weren't allowed to be kids at home. They couldn't speak their language in the schools. If they did, they were punished severely. This is not an exaggeration. This is something that actually took place.
I couldn't imagine what the people went through when their children were taken from them and sometimes forcibly be brought to residential schools.
Again, I grew up on the other side of the country and we didn't learn anything about this in school. But it's my understanding that in Kamloops, this is very much part of their history.
Children and survivors who went to this school know. Children who never went home. We've talked about it for years.
So many children were taken away forcibly from their families, and so many children never went home. The families were not told where their little ones were. The parents were powerless. They were threatened with jail if they tried to keep their kids out.
I'm sure no one would like somebody to go in your house and rip your kids out of your arms and say, okay, they're going to go to school here and we're going to treat them bad. We're not going to feed them. They're going to starve. We're going to rape them.
As a kid growing up, I heard my mom say so many terrible, terrible stories of abuse that she suffered and that she witnessed. My mom would say, the nuns did this and the nuns did that, and people of God should be kind to other humans, but they were not kind to the children. And I don't understand that.
It was a combination between the government, the Catholic Church, and the monarchy basically trying to take the Indian from the child. So the reserves that were created were basically prisons, and these schools, these weren't schools, these were prisons for the children of the reserves that were taken away and had their cultures forced out of them.
No culture, no speaking, no sibling, no family, nothing. You went to school with your siblings, you didn't see them. You weren't allowed to talk to them. That's what they took away. They took away our livelihood. They took away everything that meant to us, our families.
You know, we not being able to practice, who are we? What's left of us?
Actually, one of my aunts never made it home. She died here and no one told them what happened. And she was just young when she came here. Most of them came here at 5 or 6.
It's the generational effects. It's not just one generation that was hurt by it. It's still visible in reserves throughout Canada. And
the effects are drugs, heavy drugs and alcohol, losing our children.
I grew up without a family. I raised my own siblings. I was 6 years old when I learned how to change a diaper.
Like for me, like being part of the 60 Scoop, I never knew who my parents were.
When I was a child, I was beaten, molested. You know, these are all things that are not acceptable for our children.
What can Canada do? Everyday Canadians can stop saying, when are the Indians going to get over it? It's in the past, put it behind you. Anyone who can say something like that has no clue. They have no clue how bad it really was.
I do think it is the outcome of residential school. It's the outcome of 60 Scoop.
I think the government can be pretty heartless, whether it's the Canadian government or the United States government, to take the children away from their families. I don't understand it at all. How did they make these decisions?
It's terrible that it's so recent that it was still a problem, and it continues to have long-lasting problems from it. But hopefully we're growing as a country.
Getting the knowledge out is my goal. I want people to listen and learn and understand what has happened in the past and move forward and grow together as a country.
They tried to get the Indian out of us. We're still here. We're still fighting all across Canada, all the way down the States.
If you're Indigenous from this country, you see something completely different. It's like having an abusive partner. Things happen to you behind closed doors. Well, that's kind of how it is for the Indigenous people. We see things that other people don't see.
But that's not going to fix where we're at. That's saving their ass, not ours. We still live with the pain.